part of why I go into this, right, is I want people to see, I want our audience to see that everybody doesn't start out at the top, right? We don't always start out with a silver spoon. Many of us don't.
Most of us don't. Most of us make it is because we had to learn early how to fight, claw, scratch, whatever, for the nickel and the nickel and the quarter to the dollar and so on.
Yeah, I mean, it was just myself and my sister. We only had two of us, but our stories, as far as what we were doing and how we were growing, they're aligning a lot of things alike. And the reality is, just like you said, I hear that so often of people that have been successful and grown into that. They've done it because they pulled themselves up and continued to gut it out.
By the way, in my case, and I'm sure in yours and others, multiple times, if I can use another movie or a Philly reference, but I'll use a movie in Rocky Balboa, I'll butcher the line, but his famous line is, it's not about, getting knocked down. It's about getting back up. It's not about how hard you're hit. It's about, how hard you come back or whatever. That's what it sounds like you had to learn how to do. I had to learn how to, many people I know, many successful people I know, that's the reason they're successful, because they've dealt with adversity and loss and failure and learn from it. I think, unfortunately, that's what a lot of today's kids are experiencing, is everything is helicoptered and all the paths are paved for perfect success. Even if not perfect success, it's okay, because mommy and dad are here to make it all better for you. And, you're certainly seeing it in generations in the workforce. I mean, kids don't understand failure. I mean, entrepreneurs I think, is a dying breed because no one wants to fail.
They're looking for their trophy that they participated.
It's your trophy, for sure.
I mean, was there any brothers or sisters that kind of took a secondary role of that many kids of trying to say, hey?
Sure. Yeah, my two oldest sisters, practically raised half the family. I think my oldest sister, who's only like 6 years older than me, was changing, not all the time, but changed my diapers, changed many of my younger siblings' diapers. But the two oldest ones certainly were heavily involved in the babysitting, if you will, raising of us. And then I'm the oldest boy, so I've kind of assumed some of that leadership mantle as well throughout the years. And it's interesting. It's really prepared me well for life from being a parent. I mean, I kind of saw it all. I was a kid myself, but also saw everything around me in different decades even. Right. But my dad his dad was in construction. So we lived in a 9-bedroom Victorian house because there were so many kids, but it was a house they couldn't afford it. So he tore it apart. It was an old, really old house, needed work, tore it apart, put it back together, literally down to the studs. And I had to help with that, which made my childhood not very fun. But my goodness, all the skills I have today that most people don't. I put my room together. I wired it electrically. I mean, I had help in where I needed.